All right, so this is an excerpt from one of Margo Sorenson's other books. It is about a girl who has been transported back in time to the Middle Ages. All right, so we're starting in chapter 7. I spent more restless hours that night, turning and tossing on my cot before I finally succumbed to sleep. How could I get back to my own time? Events were moving awfully fast, but definitely not fast enough for me to zip forward 700 years. I almost groaned aloud. Relentlessly, I dreamed of Robert sharpening lances on a grind wheel, grinning evilly, and a turbane spice seller slashing a scimitar at me, of arrows flying through the air toward me in a forest. I dreamed of riding in a tournament, with a knight in black armor on a warhorse, its hooves thundering on the ground, bearing down on me with his lance glistening in the sun. I woke up with a start, relieved to find it was only a dream, but dejected I was still at Grafford. Our morning routine began the same way, but I was happy to see Romuald brought a large tub to the solar, which he filled with heated water from a pot hanging in the fireplace. Our morning routine began the same way, but I was happy to see Romuald brought a large tub to the solar, which he filled with heated water from a pot hanging in the fireplace. We actually were able to have a sponge bath of sorts. I was feeling pretty gross by now, so it was welcome. I didn't even mind that there wasn't any deodorant around. I probably smelled just like everyone else in medieval times by now. Nasty. What would everyone at Chadbourne think of my fragrance by the time I got back? If I got back. Now was just a good time as any to ask Romoga the questions I was supposed to. So, as soon as I put on my gown for the day, serendipitously checking first for fleas, of course, I took a deep breath. Romoga, I said, Maud and I are thinking of having a new pudding made today by the castle kitchens, and we were wondering if Robert might meet with us. Across the room, Maud ducked her head, pretending to search through a carved chest for something. I know not, milady, Romuald answered. He hath been busy of late. Here's where I had to finesse her into an answer. I have seen him meet with the knights in the great hall and such, I said, keeping my voice light. Are they also, perhaps, seeking to have a special pudding made? Maud snorted, and then tried to cover up by sniffling and coughing. Nay, Romuald answered. I hear he has much more to do before the tournament. Some say that there will be trouble there, I know not what, but he is preparing for it. Yeah, I'll just bet he is. Trying to keep my tone casual, I said. Then Maud and I shall defer our quest till the time he is less occupied. Can you fasten my gown, please? I asked, changing the subject. As we hurried to mass, Maud looked at me. Mary, but you are skillful, Connor, she said admiringly. Romuald had no idea you were trying to ferret information from her. I'd been thinking about it. I answered, thank you. At Chadbourne, I had to use words often to that purpose, if she only knew. Oh, Maud explained, her eyes wide. I am sure. With all the plots afoot to bring you harm, it must have been terrible. Yep, especially Fairborn's detention sessions, and a few little talks from the headmaster and Walters about curbing my smart mouth when I was representing dear old Chadbourne in a forensics tournament. We caught up with William outside the chapel doors. I looked around, but we were so late that everyone else must be already inside. I guess my chronic tardiness transferred seamlessly to the Middle Ages. William, Maud whispered excitedly, Connor got our answer. William's eyes brightened, and he too glanced to see if any listening ears were present. What happened, Connor? He asked. Romoga and Robert has been meeting with knights to prepare for some kind of trouble at the tournament, I answered. Trouble he himself will cause, no doubt, William said curtly. It's possible, I agreed. But remember, we don't know unless we can actually overhear one of his meetings. I don't know why I even brought that up, because it could only put us both in possible danger. But it was the truth. You speak truly, Connor. I like your sense of honor, William said. A flush of pleasure at his words warmed my face. Did he like more than my sense of honor, I wondered? Did he think I was cute, or comely, as they said around here? Thank you, I managed to say, trying to handle the feelings I suddenly realized I had for William. Good work, Connor, I scolded myself. Was I getting a crush thing on some guy who lived 700 years before me? What was I going to do about that? We shall have to ferret out when he is meeting and conceal ourselves, William said thoughtfully. I shall think on it. After Mass, we were leaving the chapel to go to the great hall for our meal, when Father Bernard tapped William on the shoulder. Your lordship, he said, our lessons must continue apace. I fear I'm neglecting your learning, and Baron Henry will soon be returning from the Holy Land. He will ask for our progress." William looked startled. But Father Bernard, we're going to ride to the hunt today with Adam." Father Bernard sighed and shook his head. "'Tis my charge that I instruct you in your mathematics, and you and your sister in Latin and the poets," he said. "Baron Henry will take me to task for shirking my duty." "Do not worry," William said. "I'll practice mathematics whilst I shoot the bow and arrow, measure the distance, count my arrows and such. Besides, my father will hardly return tomorrow. The crusade is not yet done. We have much time still, I fear, before he returns." If the Baron ever returned, and if nothing was wrong with him, I thought, exchanging an alarmed glance at Maud. What news was Akbar going to bring? Father Bernard frowned. "No, sire, 'tis not true. We had a messenger arrive this morning who brought word that King Henry has died. The prince has been summoned from the Holy Land, for he must now rule as Edward I." Maud, William, and I all started and looked at each other. Was that the message that Akbar was carrying? If so, it was good for us, not bad. Although I guess the king dying wasn't really good. "What say you?" William said. "Truly, Edward will return, and all his written in?" "The new King Edward will return," a voice snapped from behind us, and we turned to see Uncle John standing there, his hands on his hips. Obviously, that didn't make Uncle John too happy. I smirked inwardly, because that meant William and Maud's father was coming home too. He was going to be the loser, once again. "Father will be coming home," Maud explained, jumping up and down, tugging at William's sleeve. She twirled in her happiness, her gown floating around her ankle. Alright, tomorrow we're going to find out what happens at the tournament in our excerpt, as well as what happens with this plot that they're trying to uncover.